Hello, everyone! How did I do?
That was all right.
Yes, scale of 1 to 10.
I don't know. That was about a 6.
I'll take it. I'm here with Captain Logan,
Hi there.
and we're going to talk about the show No Ordinary Family. Take that, learning disability, trying to make me act like a moron. So, how about you start on what you thought of this show when you heard of it?
Okay, well, I had no real interest in it at first just because it looked like, yet another family drama, and it sort of is, which I'll want to talk about. But no, when I found out that Chickless and Julie Benz were both in it, I felt like I had to watch it, and was immediately impressed that those two as a couple managed to have chemistry, because they seemed like the least likely couple to put together as a married couple.
It's just weird for me because my mind, when I see someone I recognize, associates them with that role, which will come in with someone else in this show when I bring it up. But, of course, when I saw Chickless, my mind instantly went to, he's the thing, he's going to transform into the thing. Because I'm an idiot. And, of course, every time I see Julie Benz on screen, I do think Dexter's in the background.
Oh yeah, well, and see, I'm not a fan of that show, but of
I
course
know.
I'm thinking Angel, so I'm thinking
Yeah,
okay,
that's come up.
So you got Ben Grimm and you got Darla, and I'm like, wow, that's an odd pairing, but they're actually quite good.
Yeah, they're good. And also, I want to mention this is a role where Michael Chiklis isn't angry to everyone in the show.
I think that's a lot of the reason he wanted to do it.
I only knew him as a guy who was essentially grumpy at everybody.
Chiklis always struck me, and I don't know why, but just in interviews and stuff, is probably being like quite the family man, and he's one of the executive producers on this show. So I wouldn't be surprised. I haven't done any research, but I wouldn't be surprised to find that he might have even had something to do with it conceptually. Getting into the series itself, the thing that struck me about it immediately is on the negative side was just that I felt like it was a bit too typical of a family drama, and it's in some ways it's a very smart show, and in other ways it's too typical. Like I said, of family dramas, and is not that smart of a show, and that's something that is irritating to me because it's giving me kind of a love-hate relationship for it.
I kind of agree with you. Like, I don't hate the family drama stuff. Someone believes I was tricked because they knew I was going to watch this because there were superpowers involved, and they were like, "Ha! It's a family drama." Take that, Dustin.
It is, and I would say
I'm
that
happy with that. I'm okay with that.
Really? Okay. Me somewhat less so. My thing is, I feel like a drama series does not have to have all the drama stemming from people lying to each other.
Yeah, you have a strong point.
and that is part of my problem with it. Is that that's becoming nearly a cliche in these sorts of series, and it's almost like writers aren't being original enough to try to get outside of that box a little bit. We've had that for 10 years on Smallville. Like I don't need that in all these other shows. You know what I mean? And I mean and you had a lot of that going on in Heroes and stuff like and like I think part of it is because they feel the need to go to the place of sorry, my kid's crying in the background, so I got distracted.
My little sister could pop out at any moment and terrorize. So
anyway, sorry. They got to deal with the secret identity thing.
Well,
and
yeah.
So they're playing with comic book and superhero tropes, and so they're going, okay, what is a superhero thing that everybody knows about? Secret identity. So people naturally must lie to each other, and the drama must come from all the lies that people tell, but then people being upset that other people in the family are telling them lies. And I'm thinking, okay, that's okay for a minute, but there's got to be a point where we get past that. And I mean, we've had 5 episodes of it, and I feel like after the 5th episode, they've gotten to a place on that where there's certainly a lot more honesty happening. And as long as all the characters have learned something and they grow and move on, I'm okay with it. And as soon as they backslide back into that, I'm going to consider changing the channel.
I'm annoyed with the fact that they don't know that the son has like his powers.
Yeah, that really irritates.
Just tell them; they'll be happy with you.
Well, the other thing too. Well, and I mean they weren't, but more to the point, how could they be dumb enough to not know that?
I know, like. No, I know kids like this. I hang out with kids like this. No. If they do something smart, something's off.
I mean, like, it's bad enough that he's, like, acing math tests, and, like, the teacher keeps thinking that he's cheating.
Oh, the teacher's a jerk in this show.
And he's just irritating, but then, like, the parents are like, oh, no, good job. We trust you. It's like, you know, we are going to put our trust in you above our own common sense.
Yes.
I'm like, no, he's a teenage kid. That's not smart. That's just not what you do with teenage kids.
I'm going to try that with my parents. I'm going to see if that works. Oh, wait a minute. No, my parents are real people.
And you're not going to ace every exam. Let's face it.
I already do.
What'd you say?
I already do, kind of. Not
really.
Okay,
that's good.
You people don't need to know how I do.
But then all of a sudden, then he's like, you know, on the football team. I'm like, now we're going
I love that he's befriended one of the guys on the football team who was like technically the most polar opposite person to him. He's like tall, big, and he's the small, scrawny kid.
And what's funny is, and I'm not saying that they even thought of this, but that's almost straight out of Spectacular Spider-Man.
They probably didn't. Well, Mark Guggenheim is a writer on this show.
Oh, really? That maybe that's where that came from.
Hold on, I have the Wikipedia page, the most useful thing on the planet, as reference here. What episodes has he done? So?
Well, at least you're backing yourself up with
I'm trying.
Good source material, yeah.
Oh, you should see the Smallville reviews I do on Def God Storm's channel. That's all we use. We don't know anything until it points it out to us at times.
Credible sources are very important.
I run a news show, ladies and gentlemen, in case you don't realize that. He wrote the episode where he tries to get the wedding ring back. Well, he co-wrote it. And he's going to write another one. I just wanted to bring that up. Should we run down
Speaking of the wedding ring thing, we're jumping all over the place. But I wanted to mention that one of the big things I don't like about this show is the fact that it being a family drama, they feel like they can't give their audience enough credit in places. Mm-hmm. And there are some places where it's really glaring, where it doesn't always happen. But I'm thinking specifically, since you brought up the wedding ring thing, where you know, the wedding ring gets stolen, and then later on, spoiler, they get it back. Like you,
what?
And anyway, when it comes back, he feels the need to say, "Oh, that's your wedding ring." You know, like we didn't know what it was.
I assume they wanted like a 25-cent machine at the Quick Stop or something. No, I'm kidding.
It was very clearly the same prop that we saw in the first scene of the episode. It's just very irritating. I mean, it was a big plot point. There's a giant close-up insert shot. We know what we're looking at. You don't have to spell it out for us.
Yeah, you have a point. I like that Michael Chiklis' character is like, you know, the only, like, he wants to use his powers to help people, because his job is a sketch artist. Which,
yeah, that's a cool idea. I really like that. And
until the episode where he believes he's in trouble, and he keeps trying to like, oh, they look like this? No, he kind of looked like you. What? That's silly. He's wearing glasses, trying to hide his identity from the people.
That was funny.
I thought that was funny. One thing when this show was, what's the word? When I read about this for Comic News months ago, all they told me was, it's a family drama with superpowers, and Michael Chiklis is in it. They made Fantastic Four into a series?
Well, and it kind of feels like that. And frankly, it feels like the live-action Incredibles.
It does. They almost, well, okay, fine. Only one of them has powers as similar, but still. And the guy with Super Strange's best friend is black, so I'm kidding. You know what's really
That's true. I hadn't even thought of that, although he doesn't have powers, you know.
Yeah. One thing I realized, he was in the Love Guru. So I just can't look at him seriously. Also, I love the line in the pilot where they're like, I built you a lair with Wi-Fi. I have a lair with Wi-Fi. With Wi-Fi.
Yeah, that was funny. I think everyone's well cast in it. And at first I wasn't digging some of the superpower choices. They've gone better places than I thought they would with them.
The only one that's like original, because the rest of them seem like standard powers, is JJ, who's the son with the super brain.
With the super brain, yeah. Well, and I mean, like that's not entirely original either, but it's.
But the way they do it, like the way he looks at stuff and like math appears, is interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it's a lot of fun to watch, and it's the best effect they've got in the show. But the thing that bugged me in the first episode when we discovered what their powers were is just the fact that the two adults get to have the physical powers and the two kids have to have the brain powers.
And the daughter can't do anything useful with them. She just gets in trouble every episode.
She just gets in trouble all the time. She can't figure out how the heck to use them. But anyway, what I think would be very cool because the ongoing story arc is about them trying to figure out how they got their powers in the first place, which is obviously not going to be an extremely riveting reveal as they're telling us a little bit more about it. It's not really that big of a deal, but I think it would be really cool to find out that there's actually like some kind of chemical reason that the parents got somewhat similar powers and the kids got somewhat similar powers.
Yeah, it's not like they showed traits that said obviously he would get the super strength. Obviously. One thing I like, let's see, they have like I guess you can call him an ongoing villain. What's his name? I don't know everyone by name yet.
I don't either. But
Dr. Dayton King, played by.
He's the dad from
Seventh Heaven. So every time I see him, I'm like, it's evil dad from Seventh Heaven.
And he's Decker from Star Trek: The Motion Picture.
Yeah, I know you. I figured you would reference that. By the way, he obviously isn't the villain. Businessman with a comb, with a hair that kind of looks like a toupee, who's kind of, what's the word, depressing every time he comes in. Why, hello there.
He looks kind of like the evil vampire from Daybreakers.
He does. Like, yeah, he's definitely not going to turn out to be evil. Also,
but I mean, are you going to keep watching it? Or are you liking it so far?
I like it so far. I mean, I'm one thing. Like a friend of mine watched this and gave up after one episode. I hate it's a family drama. Well, it's good at least.
Yeah,
I'm glad they didn't focus on. I was afraid they were going to focus on the fact that they have superpowers. Like they don't directly focus on it.
No, it's not. The thing is, it's not being directed at the comic book geeks.
Which is weird because this was announced right after they said we're canceling Heroes.
Yeah, that's weird.
This and that show.
Well, Cape. Yeah, but it's a different network.
Yeah, I know, but they put out two shows, like the Cape on NBC, and then this was announced right after.
I haven't even seen the Cape.
It's not on yet.
Oh, is it not? That would be why I haven't seen it. I couldn't remember if it was on yet or not.
Yeah.
I guess you would know, for you host a news show.
I try, and. By the way, I hope it comes out this week. The one that was supposed to come out yesterday.
But yeah, I'll keep watching it for a while and see where it goes. I'm not convinced that it will stay on very long.
It has a full season pickup, so it's going to make us go for the rest of its season.
Okay, well that's good. I don't know if anybody's watching it. I haven't researched it.
I'm doing more research. The ratings have been okay. Let's see.
Okay.
Like eight. Apparently, like, well, let's see. It's been going like slowly down by like decimal points, which is still millions, but it's still around 7 million.
Well, that's not terrible. They might pick it up for a second season at least.
I mean, it's a good show. Go see if you haven't. I believe all the episodes that are out so far are on Hulu, so you can go before one of them's gone.
Well, and they've got all of it on ABC.com. ABC is one of the networks that's really good about keeping their episodes up for good long periods of time.
Yes.
Don't try to watch anything on the CW that way.
I don't go to the CW.
Not that there's that many shows that you'd necessarily want to watch on the CW. I like how the CW's big catchphrase right now is TV to talk about, which cracks me up because I'm just always like, there can't be that much to talk about. Like, hey,
Smallville was on. What happened? He's still not in the costume.
There's nothing. There's not a lot especially intellectual on that channel. It's like the one channel that that would not be the catchphrase I would use. They're
trying to trick you like they did with me watching a family drama.
But it sounds like you're not bugged by this.
I'm not upset. People thought I would be upset. We're running low on time, so
okay, cool.
All we have to go to say. Bye, people.